Hey guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another Summoners War video. We have a very interesting account today. You guys might think this is a review video, but no, this is an improvement. 2A Monsters, a global server account where he's doing a challenge with only 2A units. And the two improvements he asked for, one was Dragons, a Abyss Heart team, and another one was Solo R5. So this was a challenge. And to be fair, I did tell him that I am not confident in making him a decent team, or at least I can't guarantee results because I've never done this before. But he was okay with it. He wanted me to try. He said I was really good in the game. Apparently, he's not watching all the other crazy people. But I gladly took the challenge because it seemed pretty fun. His highest record in Arena was F3, RTA was Challenger 3, which I'm surprised because I do think he'll get a higher record easily. I'm pretty sure he's just holding it off, as he knows that he's lacking in grinds and gems and also, trying to get a safe Dragons team. He is running Giants without issues. He's running Dragons without issues. It's not this team. This team was his fastest team. I believe this probably fails a lot. Every 30 runs, it's going to fail 3 times. I'm pretty sure of that because if you don't have any pushbacks, I mean, aside from the boost, if you don't have any pushback, the boss is guaranteed to move. There's no way you're killing the boss fast enough so that he doesn't move consistently. If the boss moves and if you're going in with a team like this, which is probably damage heavy most of the time, it is not going to survive. It is not this team. Average is more like 2 minutes with the team that I made. I can't say it's 100%. I'm pretty sure it'll fail here and there. Again, due to the fact there's no pushback that comes in consistently like a Lauren or a boost like Vertihill. Yes, I am using Spectra. We are putting some pushback right there, but that's a skill 3. It requires cooldowns. So there is some gap in the middle, which could definitely ruin your run. Solo R5 looks like this. This is again a team that he ran. He did get 34 seconds at one point. I don't know if this is due to the fact that he was carried by some other players or if he made a Solo R5 team. I want to say that he was carried because he did tell me that he had a very safe team, but that's only one team when he's being carried by the others. When I ran his team before I made the changes, it wasn't winning. It was losing. So I definitely think this is a team that only worked when he was getting help. So without further ado, let's get into the improvements I've done. So for Dragons, I have made this team. Now I want to use Spectra and I want to use something else that put a lot of damage in, that does damage based off of the opponent's HP. And we did end with Shaman. Now I did try other stuff as well. I tried this Nickel, because his passive was kind of interesting because he removes one beneficial effect granted on the attacker. So if he gets attacked, there's a chance the opponent's beneficial effect gets stripped, but it was only a 50% chance. So that was way too low and it wasn't enough. He wasn't even doing enough damage, so I scraped that. Another one was Prom, because Prom at least helped us clear the middle stages a lot quicker. And his skill 3 also did decent damage plus a stun. It does a defense break, stun, and it does damage based off the opponent's HP. But again, it was just not safe as he is very squishy. And if we make this tankier, it's not even that great to make tankier because his base stat is so bad in HP. He gets targeted, then he dies just way too quickly, which prolongs the run. I just didn't have too much success with this guy for some reason. We could try seeing the run right now. He could try this. He could try and make it tankier to see if this is a better choice because it does fit pretty well up to the boss stage because his skill 3 does decent damage. It does a stun. So he is kind of safer during the middle stages. But like I said, if he does not get that stun, then on the middle stage, there's a good chance that one unit dies, and that unit being Prom. Although even in that case, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Because you could definitely win the boss with these 4, but I wasn't happy with this. Even like here, because Spectra didn't use skill 3, we did not get attack break. Our rogue got destroyed. Very close on failing there. It's also the lack of skill 1 heal that is coming in from Shaman, because by having Shaman, we do have another heal chance, right? But you guys could tell it's a little quicker in the middle stages here with this unit. So I did think of doing it, but every 30 runs, it was failing just too consistently. When I say failing, the 3 times. So I just had to get rid of it and replace it with the Shaman. But I do think it is a good option. I do think if you get better runes, this might be the better choice. He wasn't running a whole lot of raid. He didn't have a whole lot of grinds. These builds don't have a whole lot of grinds. So you guys will see that once he gets the grinds and gems, this team might actually be the answer to getting faster runs. Right now we want the safer run because he wants more consistent times and consistent runs. But if he gets the grinds and gems, maybe this team might be the one that gives him the fast time, or I mean at least semi-fast for what he's trying to do as a challenge, and just get an overall better team. But you can see it is working. Judgment does decent damage. You kind of expect more, but with the build right now, that's the best. And you see that the boss consistently moves because the skill 3 from Spectra cannot keep up with the attack bar that the boss is gaining. And if things like this happen where our strip fails, then we have to withstand the damage that's gonna come in again really quickly. Right now, yep, it goes again. I do believe somebody had dots. Yeah, Raul here might die right here. There he goes. So yeah, it's not as safe. Definitely not as safe. We have to get the C's here, perfect. And then yeah, we do need that attack break. Attack break is huge. We're not just blocking the boss from moving, we have to block just the regular damage that is coming in from the boss. So here is 225, and our average is 2 with the Shaman, so I think that's what we went with. Eventually, I mean, at least it's not a bad choice because Shaman overall does more damage to the boss. So if I do show you guys the builds right now, Bella goes first on Violent Focus. You could tell that most of these runes aren't grinded and gemmed. You can see that these units are skilled up because he's doing a challenge where he's using these units. And then Spectra goes on Violent Blade. I do want 100 crit rate, but we didn't get it. If he gets a better gem somewhere, he might be able to make that too. Better grinds too will give the unit more stats overall. Then we have Lulu going. Lulu needed to be there. We needed the cleanse. We needed the immunity to block the middle towers, to block the reset coming in on Violent Will. Then we have the Rauk that's fairly tanky. Now, again, I had to make it fairly tanky because I knew that the mid towers were going to move, also the boss. So I didn't want Rauk dying anywhere in the middle stages. Even now, this could die. But I found a tankiness where it's enough that most of the time it survives. And then fire the Shaman on Rage Energy. So let's check this out. It should be fairly safe. It's also safer with Lulu. Sadly, we can't use Fran because it's not a 2A unit. So I had to go to Lulu, and there isn't anything better than Lulu as a 2A for immunity, so this is a no-brainer. Yes, we need that. This is what exactly we needed. We needed the attack break and, well, just attack break actually on the boss. We'll get hit by that, that's fine. You can see that we're fairly healthy. Yep, that's exactly what we needed. I'm not going to do multiple runs here. I'm just going to tell you guys that yes, I did get multiple runs that I did where I didn't fail. But also there are runs where I failed here and there because again, it's really hard to get 100% wins when you can't control the boss. That's the problem. So I think when we're unlucky and such, then it's just inevitable. If like Rauk dies, or let's say even if Spectra dies, then the run itself gets really hard to win. But at the very least, I was able to show the owner that I did get a 30 run without issues, and he was happy with the results, how we did it, or that we actually did it. So that he was happy with the results. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The tuning wise, it goes when he has will, no defense break. But we still do decent damage, right? Because it's based off of the opponent's HP. Little worried there. Ooh, this is bad. That's a lot of dots. I need the... No! He procced. Oh my god, if he didn't proc, he would have survived. So see how things could go pretty bad. But even with this, we should be able to win. Because Spectra, again, does decent damage, even without defense break. Especially at this point. If Lulu's the only thing that survives, we usually win. But yeah, pretty slow there, but it's fine. Show that we could win. Sadly, there was no unit that provides consistent pushbacks. I also thought of adding things like Mina, but then because it does hit harder, but due to the fact that we're bringing in like Spectra and stuff, the opponent is going to always have debuffs in most of the cases, so this passive is not going to be in play, meaning that it's not going to do much damage. I also thought about Megan, a Violet Megan maybe, so that we could put up skill 2 Strip, which is not too bad actually, and also consistent attack bar with defense buff, which will actually help with survivability as well. But then who do we take out here? I really don't think we should take out Bella. I think Bella is probably one of the better units in this team right now, as it provides consistent defense breaks and also the strip chance with the heal. So I didn't want to replace that. I didn't want to replace Shaman or anything like that, because I wanted some hard hitting damage dealers, and there isn't a whole lot. So really there is nothing that I can replace here that'll fit better. So I didn't go with that. Again, I really think Prom is the answer here. If you could get grinds and gems and grind these runes or get a better build, who knows, Despair might be a better one, because then it will allow stun chance for skill 2. But if you get those grinds and gems, make it tanky enough, and maybe you can get your route hitting harder with grinds and gems so that you get more damage, then the skill 3 defense break, that's an AoE defense break into route cleaning up, will be really quick in the middle stages. So I do think that is the best course of actions to get a faster team. Also, if you could do it, maybe getting Bella on like a crit rate build, something like that, with this accuracy and stuff, with this tankiness after the grinds and gems, which should be actually possible. It will be a good thing, because getting every speck of damage here and there will be a big plus. I thought it was going to be nearly impossible, but thankfully by taking enough sustain, right, because you could tell here we have technically 3 sustain, 1, 2, 3. We do have a team that is fairly safe. Finally, R5 was another challenge. Now I just made sure that we had a lot in the front line and we had decent damage dealers in the back line. So in the first team, you could tell that our damage dealer is Naomi. Now you might be wondering why I don't have a wind attack lead here. And that's because I was using the Bernard, but it wasn't as safe. And he didn't want me to touch the Bernard for his AO. So this is his Bernard AO. That's in the AO and also the AD, also in his Giants team. And he didn't want me to touch this. So I tried just using it as is. And I wasn't happy with the results because it's fairly squishy. So I got rid of this. Instead, I just put in the Vigor for more sustain, because there were some cases where the team was dying. So instead of the win lead, I took a Saren with triple fight lead. Well, let's just show the build. So frontline definitely have to be very tanky units so they could survive as long as possible, so the backline does not get touched by the boss, other than the fact when they jump and such. So the backline, Naomi is on Vampire Energy. I did go for decent tankiness. Again, I didn't want these units dying very quickly. And then we also have a Shaman. We're using the same Shaman. Should be decent. Again, it's doing damage based off the opponent's HP, so I was hoping that it does decent damage. Same with the Khan. This does damage based off of my HP, but it does more damage per debuff the opponent has, and we knew that there's going to be a lot of debuffs, so I went with that. We also went with the Mina. We actually had to give it crit rate, because again, this passive only works when they don't have any debuffs, but we knew that they're gonna have debuffs, so I had to put the crit rate so it does more damage. Again, I think it's a better damage dealer than probably like the light one or the dark one. We all know that they won't do as well, right? I think her multiplier is a little better. And then here we use the same Rauk that we're using for dragons, and then we ruined up a crow. This is his Giant's crow, but I just made it a little better, 100 crit rate, a little more accuracy. And then again, the Saren, really just not a damage dealer, but I put in the backline because the HP didn't look as good, but it's on triple fight. And you will see that there are some units on fight here. Here we have Megan. I just decided to add this here because I wanted attack buff on a team. And then we have the Shushu, so this brings in the cleanse, right? Or the heal. Yeah, I guess a heal. It's like a single target cleanse. More heal, Belladian on Violent Will, and then a Vigor on Violent Energy to do some damage actually, and also some, I guess, defense break, but the accuracy is 0%, so I don't know how reliable that is. We have a Darien on triple fight for more damage here. We have a Colleen for the heal and also heal block, which is pretty big, I've noticed. And then we added the Shannon. That's his Shannon that he built. I just added it because I wanted a attack buff, and thankfully this comes with a defense buff as well. And then finally Lala, I guess this one is Lala, that has the cleanse. The last one, the Lulu, obviously it's the same Lulu for dragons. And then we have an Ikaru that I re-ruined that has a fight set. And then finally a Driller that does decent damage, because this does some more damage if the opponent has harmful effects, and it's based off of defense, so it's decently tanky. So we'll run this. I ran this 30 times as well, and it was getting like a minute to a minute 30 average run. I think fastest is like 40 seconds. So I think that's actually very good for what he has. If you looked at I didn't show you guys the builds, but again, most of these builds are not grinded, are not jammed. So it will only get better and faster once he starts grinding all of these out. And obviously that will come with him farming this dungeon. This one was actually pretty straightforward. I didn't really ruin this, went back and forth. I just changed some of the team placements because it looked like this team lacked sustain, whereas this team had too much sustain. This team lacks damage. This team didn't have damage or had too much damage. So I just made sure they were kind of evened out so that all of the 3 teams survived till the end. I think that's really the important part, right? Because obviously if one team dies, that's when the domino effect happens, and one by one your team just gets destroyed. So yeah, you can see it's almost done already. Although I don't really like Megan here, but I guess the attack buff and the defense buff does help. You can see that the boss is healing little by little because we do not have a heal block right now, which is actually really bad. It's because Colleen is, oh, there's the heal block, perfect. That's when the run gets kind of prolonged. But there you go, that's the one. It should be like a minute to a minute 30, I think. Yeah, I'm at 30. And we know that this is when he actually did make a solo R5 team, because in the mission, we did get this achievement. Technically, he did 50%, and that is really hard to do unless you're carrying, I guess, a team, or you're just doing solo R5. So there you go. That was really it for this account improvement. It was a challenge, but it was fun. Solo R5 was definitely a lot more fun than the Dragons part. Dragons was kind of stressful, because although there is a lot of 2As at this point, there's no 2A that controls attack bar consistently. But I am pretty sure as soon as we get a unit like that, Lauren will die out. So I do kind of understand why they don't have that unit. But for somebody that's doing a 2A challenge, it makes things very, very difficult. Also, there's nothing that provides attack bar boost, which again, if something comes out like that, probably Vertihil will be destroyed. As Vertihil is a 4-star unit, it does lack stats. If a 2A unit does what Vertihil does, then everybody will just use the 2A unit, right? Because obviously the 2A unit has the stats of a nat 5. But I want to reiterate my point. His builds are very lacking in grinds and gems. So I do think he should just focus on R5 for now. Get those grinds, get those gems, and then start grinding all of this. And because I do think after that, he will just see better results. He will be able to use different units that could actually facilitate speed runs technically for his challenge. That was it for this account improvement, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want account improvements like this, I mean, I don't know if I'll take another challenge-ish account improvement, but if you're interested in account improvements, please join my Discord, fill out the Google form. If you guys want account reviews, join my Patreon, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.